Hello and welcome. Let's start with a few moments of meditation, reflecting on my own happiness, experiencing being connected with my truth, being aware of the presence of other peaceful beings of light. Thank you. Today we start a discussion on contentment. And we take inspiration from the teachings of Raja Yoga. Raja Yoga is a philosophy of life, which is associated with a very easy method for meditation. And in the teachings of Raja Yoga, it is said in Hindi, contentment starts with a ruha ruhan, with a discussion from spirit to spirit, from soul to soul, heart to heart. And just by having the image in front of your eyes of that closeness, heart to heart conversation, from spirit to spirit, there is a seed of contentment already in this image. Why we are discontent? Because we are separated. When we are again in the company of that which we love the most, and maybe for each of you is unique, then we feel content. And for some human beings, they don't want to be separated from their position. They don't want to be separated from family. They don't want to be separated from some attainments or some possession. Some people don't want to be separated from their food or clothes or TV or YouTube. But here we may want to start to reflect on, I don't want to be separated from the truth, from that which is eternal, from the highest, from the supreme. And that would be an image of Ruha Ruhan. Meditation is Ruha Ruhan, which means a conversation deepening, going into that comfort, immerse yourself into a conversation with you, knowing yourself better, being with your thoughts, with your feelings, and of course, being with the highest. When all of these are happening, you experience another word in Hindi, dilwala, the ones that are dealing with the matters of the heart. And then again, there is contentment. When you feel you are connected to what you love. What is love? Love means to appreciate. But whom do you appreciate first? Some people now feel, oh, I appreciate our politicians, I appreciate my family, I appreciate my workmates. But whom do you have to appreciate first? You appreciate first yourself. And even in that, spirituality would say, do you appreciate the role that you are playing? Do you appreciate what is external to you, the way you look, the clothes, the words that you speak? Or can you appreciate your inner values? Can you appreciate your peace? And when you are in that feeling of appreciating, I appreciate my beautiful, eternal, unlimited stage of being peaceful. I am peaceful. Then I can say I am Dilwala. Those who deal with the matters of the heart, I am really, really well centered in my heart. And from that space, contentment will radiate, will exude. I am exuding contentment when I am seated on the hearth throne. And of course, some people would say, yes, I want to be seated on the hearth throne of God, of the Supreme, of the highest. But first of all, sit on the hearth throne of your heart. You are happy with yourself. You are content with yourself. Before moving on, would you like to comment on these two slides? Any thoughts from you? And another, the third word in Hindi, feels a little bit like a Hindi lesson, but I hope you enjoy learning a few words. And santusht mani, santusht means contentment, such a beautiful word. And mani means jewel. So all our spiritual endeavor is for becoming a santusht mani, a jewel of contentment. When you radiate that contentment, you really are like a jewel, and not an ordinary jewel, but a jewel on a crown. And which crown? Again, you may say, oh, I want to be in the crown of that prince. I want to be in the crown of that king. I want to be in the crown of the King of Kings, God, the Supreme. But first, feel that you are wearing your own crown, that you are invaluable, that you are so precious in your form of the soul, of the eternal being of light, of the one that is appreciating its own peace and truth and bliss and the wonder of the self. To be able to experience contentment, I would say one more aspect is this aspect of equality. As you can see in this conversation, in this dialogue, in this Ruha Ruhan meeting between the soul and another soul, or maybe someone higher, like the Supreme Soul. What is essential is that you have the same form. Now, if I am, let's say, preoccupied with my business day and night, and you are preoccupied with music and arts day and night, can we have a relationship? Can we have a discussion from heart to heart? No, we have very different interests. If I am preoccupied with spiritual matters and someone else is very much preoccupied with being able to sustain their family, can we really have a conversation? Can we have a relationship? No. Our form reflects our thoughts, our interests, our tendencies. And in the spiritual knowledge, we say our form can change moment to moment. To have that spiritual contentment, that happiness, that unlimited satisfaction, our form has to match the form of the highest, the form of the Supreme, the form of God, or the angelic form. And that form is nicely depicted here. It doesn't have that body connotation. It's a little bit beyond the awareness of the body. No matter what we do, we have some awareness of the body, but not that much. When we are able to go beyond my name, my location, my religion, my knowledge, how smart I am, how beautiful I am in this body, what kind of clothes I'm wearing, then my form becomes subtle, more angelic, more incorporeal. And there can be that heart to heart relationship with the Supreme. And then there is contentment. I'm not separated anymore from my highest peace, from my highest loveliness, from my highest purity. Would you like to share? Now, another aspect about contentment. What is contentment? And there is a beautiful definition in the teachings of Raja Yoga. Contentment is a mirror. And even now, if you reflect for a moment, let's take one moment of reflection. Reflect for a moment. When you wake up and you think of yourself, in what terms do you think of yourself? What comes to your mind? Is it the role that you are playing, the duties that you have throughout the day, the successes, the failures? When you look at yourself, do you see the image of the body? Do you see the one who is a winner or a loser? What do you see? When you look in the mirror, spirituality would say, when you look in the mirror, do you see the sparkling star, the shining star in the forehead? And in that way, contentment is a mirror of your progress on the spiritual path. If you are willing to measure how much progress have you made on your spiritual journey, then look at your contentment. How content are you with yourself, with your peace? You have to be content with these 5 friends: peace, truth, love, bliss, and power. Are you content with the extent of which you experience peace in your life? Are you content with the truth that you are practicing? Are you content with your happiness? Let us look together at this description of what contentment can bring into your life. Let us share. Would you like to share maybe one aspect about contentment? You can see here many aspects of the benefits of contentment, what contentment is highlighting, what contentment is maintaining, sustaining in your life. Would you like to describe one of these aspects that you experience now in your life?
Yeah.
Yes?
You can just see the difference now in this life. Much easier to cooperate with others, accept others. And when you do that, there is no fighting inside. There is no battle, just inner peace and a contentment that you just feel it. You're not wasting your energy on battling, and you accept peacefully everyone have their way and everyone have their opinion, and that can only happen being a spiritual feeling inside that brings the contentment.
Nice. Yeah, contentment, as I said, is a mirror of your transformation. Contentment brings unlimited happiness. Contentment is associated with your success. And very beautifully, everyone loves someone who is content. When you are in that energy, in that vibration of contentment, you are loved by all, which is the reflection of you having appreciation for yourself. Contentment means happiness, satisfaction, love. Contentment means you appreciate yourself the most. No one can appreciate you more than you do, because you know the extent to which you experience peace and truth and bliss. So when you appreciate your peacefulness, when you appreciate your generosity, when you appreciate your wonderful efforts, then that radiation inspires others to appreciate themselves. They feel good in your company. They want to learn how to appreciate themselves. That is the biggest disease of today's world. No one appreciates anyone. They don't appreciate themselves. They don't appreciate anyone else. There is a world of beggars and complaints and more complaints. Positive thinking, it's a good start, but here contentment is deeper than just positive thoughts. Contentment is at the level of awareness. In that awareness that you are an eternal soul, a being of light, and you are dwelling into that peace. You are dwelling into that loveliness. You live in a space of wonder. And then you will experience that everyone loves you. Everyone wants to be with you. When you are content, someone who is discontented, people are running away from them. So also another very interesting quality of contentment, you are content is an indication that you are not afraid of anyone nor anything, and you do not reject anyone's nature. Discontentment is a sign that you do not accept someone else's nature or personality. They are in a certain way that you don't like, and you are discontented with them. You are discontented with something that they reflect from you. You may have that weakness. You don't want to see it. You don't want that mirror. And then you are discontented with someone else. Of course, you will get that back to you. If you reject someone because they speak too much, they are not spiritual. You reject someone because they are not accurate, they don't do the task accurately. You reject someone because they don't have the same interest as you do in meditation and they are noisy. They play rock music or they eat food which is not pure food, sattvic food, and you feel, oh, they are not like me, I dislike that. If you give that out, that discontentment will come back to you. So all these benefits of contentment, all these aspects will help you start to cultivate contentment. We have to cultivate it in a conscious way. We have to start to tell ourselves, I am a contented soul. And whenever some temptation, some provocation, some challenge comes from the outer world or from my past, my habits, then I will reply to that, I'm a contented soul. I'm not going to go into that direction. Spiritual teachings are telling us that the method to become constantly content is to be a conqueror of your defects, of your weaknesses, to be a yogi. And this yogi, we call it sometimes under the name of Sita. This is Sita. This is Sita is from our stories, the stories of ancient world, which were calling the story of Sita and Ram. Sita being a princess, being someone who was always happy and content, and Ram being the highest king. But at some point, Sita is crossing the line of contentment. She is temporarily tempted by some temporary pleasure. And when she crosses the line of her way of being, way of living, then she is completely lost. She becomes subject of confusion, doubt, fear, vices are growing in her mind. So this is a story of the yogi. This is a story of the soul. The soul is a yogi, and yoga means contentment. Whenever you have that moments, that minutes, that experience of being in yoga with peace, being in yoga with what is eternal, reflecting on that, meditating on that, being absorbed on your beautiful eternal truth, then you are a yogi, then you are content. And the spiritual knowledge says, stay there, make that permanent, draw a line. Draw a line in this lifestyle, in this way of being, and do not cross that line. Stay there. Be under that canopy of protection. Keep the highest company. When you cross a line, you cross the line because you are tempted. Now reflect for a moment. What is it that makes you crossing the line? Let's say in this moment you are a yogi, you are content, you are happy, you are satisfied. What is it that is tempting you? What is it that makes you lose your contentment, your happiness, your loveliness? And sometimes it's a desire, and that desire comes from the lower awareness that you are missing something, you are lacking something, you are not enough, you are not full. So in this space, we cultivate that fullness, that perfection. You are full, you are perfect. You already have attained everything. Sometimes you cross a line because of fear. You fear that you haven't done something, or there will be a punishment, or you have not attained what others are describing. Maybe something are having more than I do. There is jealousy, there is envy, even one thought. One thought doesn't make you cross the line. You can still be here. But if you allow the second thought, the third thought, then you become a Vyogi. You become someone who does not have yoga anymore with what is eternal. You have yoga and you are engaging yourself with that which is temporary. And that will not going to bring you contentment, because what is temporary, it is meant to finish any moment. Would you like to comment on that? Your thoughts? So to be constantly content, we have to conquer our weaknesses. In the spiritual knowledge, weaknesses are named Maya. It's just a name. It doesn't mean an illusion. Your weakness is not an illusion. It's there. My weakness, my defect is still there and makes me discontent. And no one in this world can make you discontent apart from your own weakness and defect. And sometimes we can see it very simply that my weakness is a gate, is a window that allows that lack of power, that defect to come at the surface of my awareness, because I keep asking myself, why? Why is this happening? Why me? What next? I can't do it. It's not possible. It's too difficult. I'm going to do it later. I postpone it. I expect others to help. I project. I say I'm too busy for this spiritual knowledge. All of these are the gateways to defects and weaknesses. They come in. And how do they come in? They come in as a burglar. They come in as a thief. And they steal your contentment. They steal your happiness. And you do have a right as a king, as a sovereign, as a soul which is eternal and beautiful and wonderful. You have a right to be happy and peaceful and content and loved by all. Remember, you are loved by all when you are content. And when you start asking why me? Why they do not respect me? Why they are not giving me more position? Why they don't accept my ideas at work? Why, what, how? all of that are doors and windows for the burglar, for Maya, for the weaknesses to come in. One thought may be allowed, one thought of weakness, but the second thought will make that break, will make that big entry for weaknesses in your awareness. Now, for today, we can practice making the weaknesses completely surrender to your power. You are powerful. You are a child of the Supreme Soul. You are a divine being of light. You are like an angel. Make your weaknesses, put your weapons down. Make your weaknesses and your defects surrender to you. And we would like to hear from you, what is your experience of being a conqueror of your weaknesses? When was it easy for you to say, yeah, actually today I didn't have any weakness. Today I was able to remove any questions, any doubts, any confusion. And I was content. I was royal. I was feeling lucky, and I was not dependent on anyone or anything. Let us hear from you, your thoughts, your considerations.
I have a question to you, Fiona. You said first thought is allowed. Yes, the weakness do come. First thought is allowed. What effort you make for the second thought not to come?
Thank you. The effort is to create that environment where Sita is in the company of the Supreme. When Sita, I'm trying to display that slide. When Sita is in the company of the Supreme, when the soul, I the soul, am creating throughout the day moments and moments to come back here as a yogi, and I cultivate the contentment and I cultivate my form in which I can be in that Ruha Ruhan conversation with the Supreme. Remember, if I am in the form of a body, I will be prone, I will be subject to all the fears and expectations and doubts. If I cultivate the form of being an incorporeal soul, an angel, a being of light, someone who is always beautiful, I am in the form that the Supreme Soul has, then I can maintain that awareness, that company. And in that company, discontentment never can come. Maya can never come. Weaknesses cannot come here. So let us practice today again and again being in the highest company, in the company of the Supreme, in the company of the angels, in the company of your most beautiful personality, and cultivate today contentment. Do not allow the second question, the second doubt to come into your awareness. Stay in this Ruha Ruhan, in this conversation with your peace, with your loveliness, with your happiness. We'll meet again next week. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.